Dear friends from near and afar, welcome to the Buffalo AKG Art Museum. My name is Janne Seren, and I have the honor to serve as the Peggy Pierce Elfin Director of this amazing museum, your museum. I would like to begin. Okay, you'll want to save some maybe for later, when the real rock stars get on stage. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional occupants of the land on which we are gathered this evening. The first permanent gallery of the Buffalo Fine Arts Academy was constructed on the traditional land of the Seneca, Onondaga, part of the Six Nations Confederacy, Haudenosaunee, and it is on this land that the Buffalo AKG Art Museum resides today. The native occupants of this land were among the estimated 10 million Native Americans in pre-colonial North America who were displaced. As an institution, we collectively acknowledge this land as the traditional home of the Seneca, and we honor the Native American members of our community who continue to bear the burden of this history as they live nearby and among us. We are grateful to live, work, and learn from this land. As I think of humanity's interactions with land and with landscapes, from the Garden of Eden to Gettysburg and beyond, I am reminded of a line in William Shakespeare's play Troilus and Cressida, quote, "One touch of nature makes the whole world kin," end quote. The evocation of our common humanity in a time of isolation, narcissism, and fragmentation imparts a special aura upon our gathering in this beautiful Lipsey Auditorium this evening. This is a special moment for us because we are opening a groundbreaking exhibition, Northern Lights, that is the product of a deep and creative friendship between two museums, the Buffalo AKG and our esteemed partner in Basel, Switzerland, the Fondation Beyeler. Our gathering is special also because our being together in this room bears witness to the transformative power of art, the ability of art to connect people across the arbitrary borders of our lives, be they temporal, geographical, or philosophical. Northern Lights celebrates the art of visual innovation, and more specifically, the ability of artists to reinvent the ways in which we perceive nature and ourselves in relation to nature. The exhibition brings together 62 landscapes created between 1880 and 1930 by 12 pioneering artists from Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Canada. The exhibition also sheds light on our shared histories. It gives us an opportunity to connect with each other through artistic and social bridges that have been conceived and sustained over time. Back in 1913, when our campus consisted of just one building, this museum, the Albright Art Gallery as we were called back then, opened a show called the Exhibition of Contemporary Scandinavian Art. That monumental exhibition featured 165 works by 44 artists from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. It was the first time that audiences in North America were exposed to a survey of contemporary art from the Nordic region. Think of the world our grandparents and their parents were navigating in 1913. It was the eve of World War I. The Ford Model T had just entered mass production. Humans were flying airplanes for the first time. Einstein had recently written his theory of special relativity. The women's suffrage movement was unfolding in Washington, D.C. and around the country. And in Paris, crowds rioted in the streets, shocked by Stravinsky's debut of the avant-garde ballet, The Rites of Spring. A modern world had arrived, and it would soon plunge millions of people into a horrific conflict, a war to end all wars. The exhibition of contemporary Scandinavian art at the Albright Art Gallery was very much of its time, radical and new. Its presentation in Buffalo was overseen by Cornelia Bentley Sage Quinton, the AKG's second director and the first woman to serve as the director of a major art museum anywhere in the world. The exhibitions showcased works by many of the artists whom you've encountered earlier today in the galleries of the Jeffrey E. Gundlach building, including Edvard Munch, Anna Boberg, Prince Eugène, Gustav Fjestad, and Harald Solberg. For an exhibition to be even called contemporary in 1913 was a radical gesture, a testament to this institution's long-standing commitment to innovation. During the run of the exhibition of contemporary Scandinavian art, something unexpected happened. Two enthusiastic Canadian artists, Lauren Harris and J.E.H. MacDonald, whose work is included in Northern Lights, traveled across the border from Canada to the Albright Art Gallery to see the work of their Scandinavian contemporaries. That visit led ultimately to the birth of the first modern art movement in Canada through the creative work of the legendary Group of Seven. Seeing the works of kindred spirits emboldened a new generation of artists. Reflecting on the origins of the movement, in the words of A.Y. Jackson, one of the group's founders, quote, "What had started all this was that MacDonald and Harris had become excited about a show of Scandinavian paintings they had seen in Buffalo in 1913, end quote. Northern Lights manifests and rekindles this important connection between Nordic and Canadian early modernism. During the last 100 years, the artists whose works are featured in Northern Lights have become, in their respective homelands, household names. Many of them are regarded as national heroes. However, their transatlantic conversations and shared painterly spirit is something that we don't actively think about. This is largely due to the fact that works such as these don't often leave their homesteads. In fact, Northern Lights is the first exhibition in the United States dedicated to celebrating the connection that emerged in Buffalo in 1913 between Nordic and Canadian artists. As you will hear from our panelists this evening, Northern Lights looks back to a time when the forest emerges as a shared source of inspiration for a new kind of modernist painting that challenged traditional conventions of rendering nature through a diverse range of distinct painterly approaches and temperaments. The artworks in the exhibition both define and interconnect national territories. At the same time as Northern Light looks back in time, it also looks forward. At first blush, it might seem that there is nothing particularly radical about landscape paintings that depict slices of nature in different places from different vantage points during different seasons. A closer inspection of the works on display reveals nuanced strategies of innovation and experimentation, ways of painting that prompted European art critics around 1900 to declare that the light now comes from the north. Das Licht kommt jetzt aus dem Norden. Many of the paintings in Northern Lights rebel against the constraints of tradition by transcending time-honored norms such as one-point perspective or the gentle three-dimensional recession of objects in space. These young artists of the North, daughters and sons of fledgling nations, felt free to experiment without being constrained by a singular means of expression. The works of the Northern Lights artists thrusts us into the thicket. They plunge us into cold pools of water. They disorient us. They tell us that being one with the wilderness is not a walk in a bourgeois park or a glass of Chablis in the backyard of a chateau. These works bring us to the brink of abstraction while celebrating that which the painter's eye has seen and the foot has touched. Northern Lights was conceived by Dr. Ulf Küster, Senior Curator at the Fondation Beyeler. Both Ulf and my dear friend Sam Keller, the brilliant director of the Fondation Beyeler, are with us tonight. Ulf, your idea for Northern Lights has led to this momentous exhibition, and tonight we celebrate your vision. Congratulations and thank you. It is a true honor to stand here tonight with you and welcome our audiences to this exhibition. And Sam, it has been a great source of joy for me and all of us here at the AKG to partner with you and your team on this project after so many years of friendship and conversations, and to bring our two institutions ever closer. May this collaboration be just one pearl in a long necklace of treasures to come. Many other wonderful colleagues at the Fondation Beyeler were part of this collaboration, and I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Managing Director Ulrike Erbslö, Head of Sponsoring and Fundraising Chantal Blatzheim, Registrar Sara Obel, and Head of Publications Franziska Stegman. A very special thanks goes to Fondation Beyeler's Assistant Curator Louise Bannerworth, a powerful force in this project. I also want to thank our own Curator-at-Large, Helga Christofferson, who co-curated Northern Lights with Ulf. Helga has planned and overseen the exhibition's installation in Buffalo. At the AKG, the exhibition is a vibrant manifestation of our Nordic Art and Culture Initiative, a unique platform for transatlantic collaborations which Helga is instrumental in stewarding. Tonight, as we celebrate visionary painters who have shaped the way we perceive the world, we also celebrate the close connection between artists from the Nordic region and Canada. The realization of Northern Lights was made possible thanks to the many partner institutions whose generous loans have enabled an ensemble of exceptional works to come together. I would like to acknowledge and express our deep gratitude to the lenders who are here with us tonight. The Art Institute of Chicago, represented by Caitlin Haskell, Gary C. and Francis Comer, Senior Curator in Modern and Contemporary Art, and Director of Ray Johnson Collections and Research. The National Museum in Stockholm, Sweden, represented here by the Director, Patrick Amselem, who is joined by Stefan Hansen, Cultural Counselor at the Embassy of Sweden in Washington, D.C. And in honor of the enduring and close friendships we have built across the Canadian border, I want to offer an especially heartfelt thanks to our Canadian institutional lenders, several of whom are here with us tonight. These include the Art Gallery of Ontario, the McMichael Canadian Art Collection, the Vancouver Art Gallery, and the National Gallery of Canada, represented here by Katerina Atanassova and an amazing group of her colleagues and museum patrons. The generous support for this exhibition from these great Canadian museums is truly a testament to our close ties and shared investment in these artists and their legacies. Thank you for your friendship and passion and for transcending national borders in your work. Please know this. Please know that Buffalo loves Canada. And every Canadian should feel very much at home at the Buffalo AKG. A number of private lenders have also parted with their treasures to enable the success of Northern Lights. I would like to recognize those lenders and in particular thank one who is here with us tonight, Sanjita Prakash and the entire Prakash family. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Transnational exhibitions are by definition a time-consuming and expensive endeavor. I want to thank the members of the Northern Lights International Exhibition Committee, a group of private individuals from across the world who came together to bring this exhibition to Buffalo. We are in their debt for giving this monumental project the jet fuel it needed, and I want to recognize these individuals for their leadership and impact. Joining us here tonight from the committee are Eric and Gina O'Neill with North Cape Wealth Management, the Keller family, led by our dear friends Mike and Marilee Keller, and Christine Sabuda, a member of the AKG's board of directors. The cultural value of Northern Lights is immense. We owe a deep debt of gratitude to you. Thank you. Presenting this exhibition in Buffalo is also made possible by an indemnity from the Federal Council on the Arts and the Humanities, for which we are deeply grateful. Further in-kind support was provided by Sotheby's, with media sponsorship generously provided by Greyline Outdoor Advertising. It is especially inspiring to underscore that this beautiful evening debuting Northern Lights to you, our dear members, is presented by the Consulate General of Canada, represented this evening by Consul General Tom Clark. The Royal Norwegian Consulate General in New York, the Consulate General of Sweden in New York, and the Consulate General of Finland in New York, represented this evening by Ambassador Jarmo Sareva, Consul General and Ambassador of Finland. Dear friends, how often do you find yourself in a room in Buffalo so fully connected to people and entities who dedicate their lives to promoting global connections through culture? It's truly an honor to have all of you here. The exhibition is also supported by leadership support of the Nordic Founding Patrons Group through the Buffalo AKG's Nordic Art and Culture Initiative. The production of this marvelous book, on sale by the way in our bookshop, was overseen by the Fondation Beyeler's head of publications, Franziska Stegman, with insightful contributions from the exhibition's curators and several scholars, including Senior Curator of Canadian Art at the National Gallery of Canada, again, Katerina Atanassova, who will shortly join us on stage. Lastly, I want to recognize the phenomenal team here at the AKG, without whom this exhibition would never have arrived in Buffalo. Many museum departments have worked tirelessly on the exhibition's preparation and installation, and I want to acknowledge our registrars, art prep, advancement facilities, learning, creativity and community engagement, archives, preservation and safety, and visitor experience for their exceptional work and dedication. The people who work The people who work in these departments are the ones who make a project like this a reality, and their effort deserves our utmost admiration and gratitude. I also want to thank the AKG's board of directors, an exceptional group of individuals whose dedication, vision, and generosity uplifts this museum. Please join me in thanking Team AKG and the board of directors of the Buffalo AKG.